has opened that gap, really got the hammer down, just the right amount of traction. Craig, he's one of the young lions. He's been tagged a one-lap specialist. People say, stand and cheer as Craig Lowndes brings it across the line.
It is Craig Lowndes by 2 car lengths at the moment.
Lowndes in particular mastered this mountain so many times in so many different ways. Mark Skaife and Craig Lowndes came here individually as Bathurst legends. This victory will make them Bathurst immortals.
Hi everybody, welcome once again to V8 Extra. Great to have your company today. Well, we've got a really special show lined up. In a rare, quiet moment, got a chance to stop, take a pause and have a chat to an old mate. This guy is about to enter his 15th full-time year in V8 Supercar Championship racing. Along the way, he's grabbed 5 Bathurst wins and 3 series championships. It's my great pleasure to welcome an old mate, Craig Lowndes. Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks, Cromwell. You make me feel old.
You are old. That was one of the topics that I was going to cover off. Now, listen, when we last got together, it was on the Gold Coast. And we're talking about that amazing run at Bathurst with you and Mark, 10 years on, picking up a victory. And I made the bold statement at the time that you were going to be the coming man for the championship. What happened? Something went wrong.
Gear lever. It come out in my hand. It sort of, it was one of those things that we had such great momentum going from Phillip Island to the Safari to Bathurst to Tassie. It was all going so smoothly up until that point. So, and I think you made a point about when you get the momentum, it just flows on. As soon as you break it, it's hard to get it back.
Bathurst, such a special place for you, and I was certainly around back in '94 when you first arrived on the scene. The wild manoeuvre, the end of Mountain Straight turned to you and John Bowe, and really, almost without exception, every year since then, you've made an impression one way or another.
Well, we tried to. It's our grand final. You know it. Everyone at home sort of knows it in the sense of it being a 6.24 kilometre track, huge elevation, and most people don't appreciate it. You talk to a lot of people. TV unfortunately doesn't give it that elevation and that lift and the height, but you go there and it's a magical place. You just have that warm feeling in your tummy when you drive in and see Mount Panorama in White Rock.
You're incredibly highly regarded by so many of the drivers and have been now for a decade and a half, like you said, your words that you're getting old. Is it an innate gift that you have, or is this something that you've had to craft along the way? In other words, when you first dropped on the track in, say, '94, did you sort of think, wow, this is all going pretty easily, or have you had to really craft this?
Bit of both. I think that I was fortunate enough to be in the right position at the right time to get the right drive, and then it all started to click. We hit the ground '94, sort of stalled around '95, but then really '96 come together. We won the championship, won Bathurst, won Sandown 500 as it was then. And really then they started comparing me to Brock, and I was lucky enough at that time to also have that partnership, friendship with Brock, who helped me nurture what we'd sort of started or began. And really for me, it's just continued on, and I think from year to year it's just been a process of just learning, understanding, developing, and luckily enough have a wife like Nat that keeps my feet on the ground.
Why do you reckon you've been so successful up there?
I don't know, it's just a place that I love. It's just so... and dare you say it, it's like what Brock used to say, it's like spiritual. It's a beautiful place. It's a circuit, a track that I love. I love to try and learn more about every time we go back. It's a length of race that I just enjoy.
I reckon it's always been a little bit the case of your seat of the pants skill. It goes back to that innate gift that I was talking about a moment ago, where you can't fiddle much with the car during the day. You've got to do what you can with what you've got. And you've got to ride the conditions. The grip level changes during the day, the car balance changes during the day, but you seem to find a way, and you did when we used to test, and we've seen it over many years, many different track conditions, where you're able to really surf that fine edge. Is that a fair assessment?
Oh, I suppose it is, because you're talking about 6.5 hours in a car with conditions that ultimately change. Grip levels of the track change because you start the day fairly green. 30, 40 cars running around, pounding around for 161 laps. It grips up. Sun comes out, goes away. Rain comes, goes away. So you're constantly battling the elements over the course of that 6.5 hours. So you're probably right. I think it's one of those things that you can't make the car perfect for 161 laps.
Well, I've made you sit still for a moment today. It's rare with this bloke. Stay with us. Craig Lowndes on the other side of the break continues to have an exclusive chat with V8 Extra, and we've been scouring our library to have a look at the last decade and a half of this guy in action. Enjoy this.
race leader, Craig Lowndes from Victoria.
Craig is driving this car very, very hard.
He is driving the car very hard, and he's doing a great job.
The grandstand have been right behind this youngster, 21-year-old Holden hero, and the guy who looks like he's got a huge career ahead of him. But here's Craig Lowndes, and I imagine he'll be the round winner. Across the start-finish line, Craig Lowndes, the grandstand, on their feet.
To the winner of round number 1, Mr. Craig Lowndes.
The night race at Eastern Creek back in 1996, and a great win, your first win. Special memories?
Well, it was, because it was a first round of the championship, a shorter version of the Eastern Creek, so we used a little shortcut through. No one expected me to come out bouncing and at least winning a race. I remember, I think it was Wayne Gardner, he made a comment at the start of the year saying he's never going to win a race, let alone the championship. But what people didn't appreciate and understand is how much testing we'd done at the end of '95. We'd done 13 days consecutively just running around. We'd been to Eastern Creek, Malala, Phillip Island, Oran Park. We'd been everywhere, done everything, and I was ready to go.
Comes up from time to time. We all get asked this one. It's now your turn because you're starting to be a bit of a greybeard. It's from Matilda Smith in Port Macquarie, who's a big fan but wants to know whether or not there's any retirement plan on the Lowndes radar in the near future.
Look, I suppose you always got to look at beyond what I'm currently doing, and it's something that's really, I can't see myself not driving for at least probably 2 to 3, maybe 4 years, somewhere thereabouts. Look, I'll be almost around 40 plus. Starting to sound like Russell now. And basically, it's for me, every year it gets harder. Younger generations coming into it, and they're sensational. They're fast. They're furious. And I'm getting a bit older.
You and I have talked about this before privately. It's not the car racing that's the hard part, though, is it? It's all the other stuff. It's this stuff, and it's all of the other sponsor expectations and the public expectation to some extent.
Well, I think, as you yourself as a driver, you still love driving cars from time to time and getting your backside into a car and just getting that sense of feel again. But it does wear you down, travelling from city to city, airport to airport, hotel, circuit, all that sort of stuff. But it is part of the game. You've got to appreciate it is part of the game and what we need to do. Sponsor requirements, they're crucial. They're critical to make sure that the team, yourself, have got a future. But then the other end of it is you do get burnt out.
You were the coming man in the mid-90s. You talked before about the success at the Holden Racing team. And in fact, in 1997, you bolted overseas. There was a lot of pressure and a lot of talk at the time about you being the next big thing in Formula One. You went and did the Formula 3000 project in Europe with Walkinshaw. Dr. Helmut Marko, Juan Pablo Montoya was your teammate, but it all went sour. It wasn't a happy period, and in fact you ended up coming back with a whacking great debt, which took a while to get rid of, so they were not smiley times.
No, but as Brock used to say, character building. It was definitely character building for me. It was a passion that you all got to set goals, and I wanted to be a Formula One driver. So we'd had such a great, successful '96. The team, HRT, John Crennan, had helped me get to Europe. We had we lived in Graz in Austria. Conditions, climate, personnel, different country, huge eye-opener. First time outside of Australia, went out, and again, the racing side of it, driving 3000 car, was what I expected. I suppose the inter-team battle with Montoya, I wasn't expecting to have all that go on, and then of course it failed. I remember sitting in Jerez, in the racetrack, asking Tom Walkinshaw, what does next year look like? What does the second year look like? And he says, well, basically, whatever you can provide, good luck. And so I was pretty much aware of then it was sort of my dream had come to an end, come back to Australia, and you're right, it's taken a long time to get back on our feet. A lot of people don't know and probably appreciate that side of the business, but that's reality. You sort of stick your neck out, and sometimes you've got to pull it back in. Our
very special guest on V8 Extra today is Craig Lowndes. We're going to go to a break and have a look at this moment back at 1999 and at Calder on the run off the start down into turn 1. This is a major career moment, not a nice one.
Lowndes on the inside, skate from the outside, will he enforce and get a good jump? Away we go, and Lowndes popped him down. Oh, look at this!
Look at that, that's
no! He's got a HRT car.
Craig Lowndes.
Oh my goodness me.
That's a nasty.
Craig Lowndes, car 1, our championship leader. You can see there was a contact there between two cars. It set off a chain reaction.